Hi everyone. So I'm just going to share the screen for the lecture today. Just 1 second. Right. So the lecture is titled Environmental Conditions and Peer Influence on Human Behavior. Okay. So that is the title of the lecture. And let us go into a study of it. Okay. So first and foremost, what we have to understand is that human behavior is not formed in isolation. It is the result of a continuous interaction between environmental conditions and peer influence. From childhood through adulthood, individuals are shaped by family, culture, education systems, social networks, and broader societal norms. These forces influence how people think, act, make decisions, and even perceive themselves. The importance of environment and peer influence has been widely studied in psychology, sociology, and education, and is central to understanding human development. Environmental factors include physical surroundings, cultural contexts, economic conditions, and institutional structures, while peer influence refers to the impact that friends, colleagues, and social groups have on an individual's behavior and attitudes. Okay, so the lecture will explore the importance of environment in shaping human behavior, the role of peer influence in decision making and identity, the interaction between environment and peer groups, and a discussion on at least five major books that address these themes. Okay, so let us look at the importance of the environment. So environment is the foundation of development. Okay, so the environment provides the context in which individuals grow and develop. Okay, it includes family, school, community, media, and cultural norms. All right, research shows that environmental factors strongly influence emotions, cognition, and behavior, especially during formative years. So that is very significant to take into account. One of the things that I would probably like to highlight is that environment actually not only determines how you think, but it also determines how you perceive yourself. Okay, and one particular argument that we need to extend with regards to it is how ideas of beauty are kind of standardized, okay, following a very western ideal of beauty. Okay, only recently I was listening to Michelle Obama, okay, talk about how uh, as a young girl she was made to idealize the standard of beauty presented in her doll, okay, symbolized by her doll, which was a Malibu Barbie. Okay, and then later on, after discovering the writings of Maya Angelou, she was able to find confidence in her own, her own racial identity. Okay, and the way she looked. All right, so that is a very significant kind of, um, kind of way in which environments actually try to condition us with regards to how we perceive ourselves. In India, particularly, there is a terrible trend of whitening one's skin. Okay, it is certainly it certainly comes from it certainly is an aftershock, okay, of colonization. Okay, so where fair skin was actually the skin of the colonizer, all right, and where they had all the privileges, they did not have to do manual labor. Okay, so it becomes a sign of status, okay, unfortunately, and because of that it becomes a sign of beauty as well. Okay, because status and beauty kind of go hand in hand. All right, so it's very important to kind of unpack all of these ideas. And largely you find that Bollywood movie stars, okay, very very unfortunate that they all actually cave in to such pressures. But Bollywood movie stars actually kind of take part in whitening their skin. Okay, so I can think of actresses such as Kajol. They have actually listed it on websites where Kajol, Deepika Padukone, they have actually gone out of their way to lighten their skin. Okay, because of the pressures of the industry. Okay, nothing else. So it is important to take into account how environmental factors actually really manipulate your perception of yourself and kind of make you want to look different. Okay, have lighter skin, all of that. So that is important to take note of. Environmental factors not only condition how we perceive ourselves, not only condition how we think, how we behave, but also how we perceive ourselves, how we perceive our worth. Okay, we feel that if we have lighter skin, we will naturally be we will be getting more acceptance, social acceptance. Okay, so it's really unfortunate that that is the case, but largely it is. Okay, um yeah. So and also yeah it, and for people who yeah, I guess that's how it has to be kind of looked at. And also people who are married to them, okay, they have a huge task of building up their self confidence. Okay, I feel like Ranveer Singh, who is married to Deepika Padukone, who had kind of lightened her skin, really ought to kind of does not one must question whether he would have married her if she had not lightened her skin. These are problematics that one needs to kind of question, but it actually goes on to show the larger trend. Like if you lighten your skin, you become more marriageable. Okay, okay, or you are more socially acceptable. So that is an important thing to highlight. So yeah, a supportive home environment promotes confidence and emotional stability. Okay, educational environments shape intellectual growth. All right, cultural environments define values, traditions, and beliefs. And psychologist Yuri Bronfenbrenner's ecological systems theory highlights that individuals are influenced by multiple layers of environment, from immediate surroundings like family to broader societal systems. So that is very significant to take into account. Now, I will just give you another example, okay, which is also from pertaining to the larger movie industry, because movie industries are actually very movie industries, actors and actresses, they play a very important role in kind of upholding what is our perception of society. Okay, what are the changes that are being that are structuring the society in which we live. Okay, because they're actually reflecting changes that take place in on a daily basis. Okay, with the frequency in which movies are being produced, in which shows are being made, they are actually reflecting everyday changes, shifts, psychological turns, and misturns, if you like. So that is very significant to take note of. So one such show, Netflix show, that I want to kind of point out is Adolescence. Okay, so there you find that the show is actually very intricately exploring how the social environment actually kind of affects the psychology of a young boy who ends up murdering his classmate. Okay, a young adolescent boy who ends up murdering his classmate. So, The Adolescence is a coming of age drama that explores the messy, intense transition from childhood to adulthood. Okay, the show focuses on a group of teenagers as they navigate identity, friendships, family pressures, mental health, and all of those experiences. And then at the heart of it is a murder that is committed by a young adolescent boy because he feels jaded by his classmate. Okay, a girl who probably did not mean it in that manner. All right, but was perhaps sarcastic, and he felt that it slighted his masculinity, his perception of himself again, and so that led him to commit that murder. All right, so that is a very significant kind of a portrayal that the Netflix series provides. Adolescence leans into realism, portraying how young people deal with social media, peer expectations, and the struggle to define who they are in a rapidly changing world. Okay, rather than a single linear story, it typically weaves together multiple character arcs, each highlighting different aspects of teenage life. Okay, and particularly, you find that the reason why the boy is so psychologically unstable, all right, why he is pushed to that particular, action, is because his father is never really present. Okay, he's an absent father figure. All right, so that is a very significant kind of like his father is not emotionally present. Okay, it's not that he's divorced from his wife, or it's not that he has left his children, but he's emotionally absent. Okay, which causes a certain kind of emotional vulnerability and mental health issue in the boy. Okay, so that is very significant to highlight. And I'm just going to give you a certain account of the social environment. So, in adolescence, the murder committed by the boy is presented as something that unsettles, is presented as something that is caused by an unsettling of his inner world. Okay, an unsettling of his inner world, because of the messages, slighting messages posted by his classmate. So the boy is presented as quite withdrawn and emotionally isolated. As the series progresses, we see how he struggles with feelings of invisibility, rejection, and confusion, both at home and among his peers. He isn't depicted as inherently violent. Instead, the show carefully builds a picture of someone who feels increasingly cornered by his own circumstances. Okay, and so that is very significant. And largely after the murder is committed, attention shifts to everyone around him. Okay, and also particularly it is shown that the murder does not simply affect the girl's family. Okay, it ripples outwards, all right, to towards everyone else. Okay, towards the other classmates, their friends, their families. All right, so it becomes a very impactful study of the victim's family and their society. Okay, so it's a very important series in that regard. So I'm just going to read out the impact of physical environment and behavior. So the physical environment such as housing, climate, pollution levels, and urban design, all of that affects behavior and well-being. Okay, examples include overcrowded or stressful environments, okay, which can lead to anxiety and aggression. Access to green spaces, which can improve mental health. Clean environments that promote healthier lifestyles. Environmental degradation, which can also influence human choices. People are more likely to adopt eco friendly behaviors when they are exposed to environmental awareness and supportive surroundings. Next, you have a focus on the social environment. So, the social environment includes family, institutions, media, and community norms. Okay, it plays a crucial role in shaping identity and moral values. Research on adolescent development shows that family and school environments strongly influence behavior. Okay, and particularly in the series, you find precisely that you find that. The school environment, the messages that are shared between all of these students, that actually that actually pushes the boy to kill his classmate. Okay, because he feels that his masculinity has been jaded by her. Okay, then media and technology shape attitudes and aspirations. Okay, community norms affect risk taking and decision making as well. Children raised in environments that emphasize education and discipline are more likely to succeed academically. That is also kind of an important aspect of the influence of social environment on individuals. Okay, so what would another a good example of it would another good example would be Dangerous Minds, which stars Michelle Pfeiffer. Okay, there too you find that it goes into an exploration of how the social environment affects the lives of young students. Okay, so in that particular movie, the film is less about individual bad behavior and more about the conditions surrounding the students, often referred to in the film as ghetto kids. Okay, and how those conditions influence their attitudes, choices, and futures. Okay, so one of the first things that's explored is poverty and instability. So many of the students come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds where survival takes priority over education. Limited resources, unstable housing, and the lack of basic support systems create a constant sense of insecurity. The environment makes long term goals like schooling feel distant or even irrelevant. Okay, then there is also a study of the breakdown of the family structure and the lack of support that the children have. So, several characters deal with absent parents, neglect, or dysfunctional home lives. Without consistent guidance or emotional support, the students are often shown as developing defensive attitudes such as distrust, aggression, or indifference as coping mechanisms. Okay, and the presence of gangs and neighborhood violence creates a climate of behavior, a climate of fear. Students may be pressured into dangerous situations or forced to adopt tough personas in order to stay safe. Okay, all of this normalizes conflict and reduces sensitivity of the students. So these are, this is particularly an important study of how the social environment affects the psychological, emotional, and social life of the of students coming from impoverished backgrounds. Okay, so that is important. Another very important movie is So another important movie is the one by Hilary Swank. It is called Freedom Writers. Okay, absolutely loved that movie. Okay, and what is even more significant about the movie is that it is based on a true story and follows Erin Gruwell, a teacher who works with at-risk students from racially segregated low-income neighborhoods in Long Beach. Okay, like Dangerous Minds, it focuses on students often labeled as troubled or unreachable or unhelpable. Okay, that's a neologism. So, social environment themes, gang violence, and racial division. Okay, so many of the students are deeply affected by gang culture and racial tensions. Mm, Violence, loss of friends, and fear are part of their daily lives, shaping how they see the world and each other. Okay, then you also have broken families and the trauma experienced by the students. So the students carry heavy emotional burdens. Okay, such as the abuse from their parents and their peers, incarceration of family members, which directly affect their behavior and ability to trust authority figures. And the school system is shown as initially treating these students as incapable, giving them outdated materials and little encouragement, reinforcing their sense of worthlessness. Okay, and then the transformation comes with the presence of Erin Gruwell, okay, played by Hilary Swank, who encourages the students to write journals about their lives. Okay, very significant, something that I personally believe in as well. Okay, having like having read the Diary of Anne Frank and kind of really like um you know grappled with the style of journal writing. Okay, both theoretically as well as through practice. So she says that literature can actually open up the minds of the students. So she introduces literature related to oppression like the Holocaust, all right, and also that also helps build empathy across racial lines. Okay, so through storytelling and individual expression, the students are able to see themselves as individuals, all right, with voices and futures. Okay, so that is also a very significant movie. I would certainly recommend that movie. It's called Freedom Writers. Absolutely love that movie. So next you have a study of the cultural environment. So culture determines what is considered as acceptable behavior. It influences language, traditions, gender roles, moral values. Cultural environments also shape how individuals interpret experiences and interact with others. Okay, environment and behavior feedback loop. Okay, so that is also important to highlight. Environment and behavior influence each other. As noted in social science research, individuals both shape and are shaped by their environment. For instance, people adopt behaviors seen in their surroundings. These behaviors finally work towards reinforcing environmental norms. Okay, so that is also very significant to highlight. Next, you have the importance of peer influence. Okay, so peer influence refers to the effect that individuals of similar age or status have on one another. Okay, it is especially powerful during adolescence, but it continues throughout life. Okay, so peer influence can be positive, okay, such as encouraging good habits, academic success, and it can be negative, okay, leading to risky or harmful behavior. Okay, so that is also important to highlight, particularly as I have mentioned with the discussion on adolescence, sometimes peer influences can in fact be can in fact become very become the cause of derangement. Okay, so that it is very important to choose your peers, who you are hanging out with, who you yeah, with whom you work. Okay, who supports you, whom you support, all of that becomes very, very significant. Next, you have peer influence in adolescence. So adolescence is a critical period where peer groups often become more influential than family. Okay, studies show that peers influence risk-taking behavior, academic performance, and social identity. So teens may actually engage in risky behavior to gain acceptance. Peer groups also can influence study habits and career choices. Okay, so that is also important to highlight. Next, you have a study on the mechanisms of peer influence. So, peer influence operates through several psychological mechanisms. Okay, on the one hand, you have conformity. So, individuals adjust their behavior to match group norms. Okay, social learning also becomes important. So, people learn by observing others. Okay, social validation again becomes important. So, acceptance from peers reinforces behavior. Okay, next you have peer pressure. Okay, so direct or indirect pressure to behave in certain ways. All right, these mechanisms explain why individuals often adopt behaviors they might not otherwise choose. All right, so, peer influence in everyday life. Peer influence is not limited to teenagers. It affects workplace behavior, consumer choices, lifestyle habits, and research goes on to show that peer influence significantly affects behavior such as purchasing environmental friendly products as well. Okay, so that is also very significant to take note of, especially with regards to how fast fashion is proliferating in our present society. Okay, um you know you are kind of influenced into buying all of these fast fashion products, garments, because because of your peer influence. Jeans particularly uses up one particular pair of jeans uses up 800 liters of water to be manufactured, okay, in for manufacturing. And but every time you see, your peers kind of wearing new different kinds of jeans, you end up buying jeans as well, new jeans from fast fashion brands, okay, that do not adopt ethical means of making these garments. So it affects behaviors, which in turn affects the environment, okay. So that is very significant, particularly if you have conscious peers, okay, then you might also end up buying environmental friendly products, reduce the use of plastic bags, all of that, okay. And designers such as Stella McCartney is actually kind of working towards environmental friendly garments, okay, producing environmental friendly garments and accessories, which is actually very significant. And particularly I find that yeah, so that is significant to take into account. I can think of one other designer uh, who also produces high end fashion, okay. um but I don't particularly remember it as having a very environmentally conscious approach to the creation of the garments. Maybe it has kind of adopted that kind of an approach. The line that I'm thinking of is by Alexa Chung. Okay, so that is also high-end fashion. Okay, some products that you invest in at for once in your life, and then you wear it repeatedly. Okay, so things that are sturdy will last you for many years. Okay, so that is that is the philosophy behind a lot of the high-end products that's manufactured, at least it should be. So, Stella McCartney particularly has taken up a very environmental conscious approach to the creation of the garments and marketing of the products as well. Okay, which led her to receive the Times Award this year. Okay, I think it's very well deserved actually. So yeah, so peer influence can actually have a very important effect on how you purchase clothes, okay, how you what you do for the environment, all of that can kind of becomes important. So, positive role of peer influence. So, while often viewed negatively, peer influence can be beneficial. Okay. Again, it can encourage healthy competition. It can promote teamwork. It can support emotional well-being. All right. So, students surrounded by motivated peers are more likely to perform well academically. Okay. So that is also very significant to take into account. Interaction between environment and peer influence. So, the environment and peer influence are in fact deeply interconnected with each other. Okay, the environment also ends up shaping peer groups. Okay, so the environment determines which individuals interact with, which other individuals, the type of peer groups available for one particular individual. All of that is determined by the social environment, the academic cultural environment. Okay, so very significant to highlight that aspect. But also largely you can consciously try to step outside of your environment as well. Okay, so for example, if you have lived in a very if you have lived a very sheltered life, okay, you might want to have a different kind of an adventure. Okay, it might kind of push you towards taking up something unorthodox. Okay, so as a profession. Okay, so you have the ability to change the environment in which you live your life or in which your family lives your life. Okay, so one very good example of it is, Paul McCartney's education of his children. Okay, so very consciously he did not want them to go to very polished schools and colleges. All right, particularly because it would kind of completely disconnect them from um, you know normal lives of um, you know people. Okay, so like non-celebrity people, that is what I mean. And so that is also a very conscious decision, okay, to change the environment in which one's children grow up. Okay, so that is an important aspect of how one can consciously take decisions to shape peer groups. Okay, and largely the effects of that has been very, very beneficial for the children, as kind of stated by them in interviews. um, then you have peer groups reinforcing environment. So peer groups often reinforce environmental norms. Cultural values are maintained through social groups. Behavioral norms are spread within peer networks. Okay, so that is significant. Social contagion also becomes important. So behavior spreads through groups like contagion. Habits such as smoking or studying spread among peers. Social trends emerge from group behavior. Scientific studies also show that opinions and behaviors can converge within groups due to social interaction. Okay. Then you have the idea of the feedback cycle. So this is actually a continuous cycle. So environment influences peer behavior then in turn reshapes the environment. Okay, and it builds a dynamic form of interaction, explaining the kinds of societal trends and cultural evolution in which one is actually a part of which one is actually a part. So that is also very significant to highlight. Okay, sorry, that's not right. So next you have certain books on environment and peer influence. Okay, so one of the books that I want to kind of draw your attention to is The Nurture Assumption. Okay, Why Children Turn Out the Way They Do by Judith Rich Harris. Okay, the book challenges the traditional belief that parents are the primary influence on child development. Instead, Harris argues that peer groups play a more significant role in shaping personality. Okay. um, children children adapt to fit into peer groups. Okay, socialization occurs mainly outside the home. Environment beyond family becomes crucial as well. The book revolutionizes thinking about child development by emphasizing peer influence over parental control. Okay, the next book that I want to draw your attention to is Under the Influence. Okay, Putting Peer Pressure to Work by Robert H. Frank. The book explores how social environments and peer pressure shape behavior in everyday life. People imitate behaviors of those around them. Social norms influence decisions such as consumption and lifestyle. Peer pressure can also be used positively to improve society. The book highlights how behaviors like excessive consumption or environmental harm can are influenced by social surroundings. Okay, it goes on to demonstrate that peer influence is not just a personal issue but also a societal force. Okay, so understanding peer influence in children and adolescents by Mitchell Prinstein and Kenneth A. Dodge is also significant. This academic work provides a comprehensive analysis of how peer influence operates in young people. Okay, the key ideas include peer influence explaining risky behaviors like substance use, social and cognitive factors determining susceptibility, positive peer influence, being largely a condition that has to be encouraged in society. And the book is also widely used in psychology and education to understand adolescent behavior. Okay. Next, you have Social Influence by Forrest Greenpath. Okay, so the book explores how media, culture, and peer groups shape thinking and decision making. Okay, key ideas include influence from coming from peers, media, and cultural norms, social validation that drives behavior, awareness of influence helping individuals make independent decisions. It connects traditional theories with modern influences like social media. Okay. And finally, you have Nature and Dynamics of Social Influence by Janak Pandey. Okay. So the work focuses on social influence operating in multiple contexts, personality and environment, and how they interact with each other. Influence becoming central to social behavior. All of that becomes very, very significant to highlight. Okay, so I guess I will conclude the lecture. Critical analysis strengths of environmental influence provides a structure and opportunities. Okay, it also shapes long-term development. It influences societal progress. Okay, not all individuals respond the same way to limitations. Okay, personal traits and genetics also come into play. Okay, so that is also very uh, interesting. Genetics in the sense that I'm not sure how far genetics comes into play. Okay, so I suppose that is actually problematic. So we'll just go along with personal traits. Okay, because genetics would be a form of eugenics. Okay, which is actually very very wrong. So personal traits matter while considering limitations. Sense of peer influence, so encouraging social learning, building identity and belonging, and promoting positive behavior. All right. Risks, peer pressure can lead to harmful behavior. Group thinking may limit independent thinking. So, all of those factors are important to study when one is looking at environment and peer influence in learning and shaping the individual. Okay. So, thank you all so much for listening, and I will conclude the lecture.